Welcome back to the Facade Files with Ace Hawkinson. I'm your host, Ace Hawkinson. Today we'll be discussing the disappearance of Joshua Reed. Stay tuned, right here on Channel 93. In 1998, while attending Waynebrook High School, senior year student Joshua Reed went missing. Eyewitness accounts stated they saw Josh run into a restroom after a dispute with a teacher. He did not come back out and has not been found to this day. By the time he went missing, Joshua Reed was viewed by most of the other students as a bit of a loner. He was quiet and mostly kept to himself. He was often late to class and viewed by some teachers as not living up to his full potential. Josh and his mother moved to Waynebrook the summer before his freshman year. He was in trouble frequently for sleeping, drawing, and occasionally arguing with the teachers. One of these teachers was Helen Hornsby. Miss Hornsby was a sixth-year science teacher at WHS. Several students described her lectures as strict and monotone. Josh was in Miss Hornsby's physics class. He was also in her biology class the previous year. He was kicked out of her class and received detention on various occasions.
I'm Brenda. I'm Josh's ex-girlfriend. Josh and I started dating during the summer going into junior year. His best friend Evan lived next door to me, so we ended up hanging out together a lot. Josh was misunderstood. He didn't talk to a lot of people at school. He thought they were all boring. I guess I did too. I could relate to him in certain ways like that. I don't feel bad for Miss Hornsby. She was always going after Josh. She hated him because he made her look dumb. But I didn't expect him to take it that far. Anyway, if you end up finding him, tell him he left his stupid shirt in my car, so I threw it away.
I'm Evan, and Josh was my best friend. We met freshman year at school. He had just moved to Waynebrook and didn't know anybody. He was pretty quiet, but he had some really cool shirts. Oh, and he was always making these crazy devices. Well, like one time we were sitting in class, and he looks at me and goes, "Check out what I made last night." And he pulls this gray rectangular device out of his pocket. It had some buttons and an antenna and a bunch of wires. It sort of looked like a video game controller or something. I asked what it does, and he pressed one of the buttons. Nothing happened for a few seconds, but all of a sudden the power went out. Like the entire school went completely dark. It was total chaos, and nobody could get the power back on. So everybody got to go home for the rest of the day. It was pretty awesome. This other time, he made some sort of crazy headset device. I'm not exactly sure what it did. He could have been listening in on the CIA or something for all I know. But Miss Hornsby saw him wearing it in the hallway, and she took it from him. Apparently that was the final straw for Josh, because everything happened the following Monday.
I'm Officer Frederick Amidis. I was the responding officer to the situation with Joshua Reed back in 1998. On May 11th, we got a call from the faculty at Waynebrook High School. They reported both a student and a teacher missing. I went over to the school to see what was going on. None of the faculty or staff seemed to know what happened. But they did know that a student named Joshua Reed and a teacher named Helen Hornsby had both gone missing at some point in the morning. Oddly enough, it had only been 20 minutes or so after I arrived at the high school when somebody else showed up. It was Miss Hornsby herself. She was disheveled and covered in mud. She seemed somewhat stunned. The school nurse examined Miss Hornsby while we waited for an ambulance to arrive, but there were no signs of any injuries. Afterwards, I spoke with Miss Hornsby privately. I asked her to tell me what happened and if she knew where Josh was. She told me that Josh didn't bother coming to class that morning and was marked as truant. However, after first period ended at 8:40, Josh walked into her room and confronted her. She said the previous Friday he brought a dangerous-looking device to school and it was confiscated. He demanded to have it returned to him. She said that she told Josh that he would not be getting the device back, as it had been taken apart and mostly disposed of due to its dangerous appearance, and that his mother could come pick up what was left of it at the end of the day. Miss Hornsby claimed that Josh then pulled out some sort of odd-looking weapon and pointed it at her. She said that before she could react, she saw a flash of purple light. Then suddenly she was falling and landed on her back in the middle of a muddy field. She said she sat up and looked around, confused as to what had just occurred. She then made her way to the nearest convenience store and used their phone to call a taxi. Miss Hornsby told me that she wanted to press charges against Josh. I assured her that we were investigating the situation, although the fact of the matter was that a student that she was technically responsible for was now missing. In addition to that, Miss Hornsby was claiming that Josh used some sort of advanced weapon to relocate her to a random location miles away within a split second. When my initial conversation with Miss Hornsby was finished, I was told that a couple of the other students witnessed Josh running into a nearby restroom sometime between first and second period. When we checked the security camera footage, sure enough, it showed Josh running to a restroom at 8:44 a.m. It does not show him leaving. As the day continued, we had several officers searching every inch of the school and surrounding area for Josh. At some point late in the day, we got another visitor. It was Jocelyn Thomas, a student teacher from Waynebrook College. Jocelyn had been assigned to shadow Miss Hornsby's class for the semester. On May 11th, however, she had to be out of town for the day. When she heard about what was happening, she returned to the school as soon as she was able to. When we questioned her, she admitted to us that Josh was not Miss Hornsby's favorite student. We asked her if she thought that could have anything to do with Josh's disappearance. That's when she told us that while she didn't see what happened, she had set up a video camera early that morning in order to record Miss Hornsby's lectures. It had gone unnoticed by our officers. We reviewed the footage from Jocelyn's camera, and it was hard to believe what we saw, frankly. The footage showed Josh firing some sort of purple electric current from an odd-looking weapon at Miss Hornsby. A split second later, Miss Hornsby was gone. Late that night, I drove to the convenience store Miss Hornsby claimed she walked to after she was relocated. Yet again, I was surprised, as their security footage did in fact show a muddy Miss Hornsby in the store by 9:20 a.m. The store was located over 25 miles away and in a neighboring county. When we informed Josh's mother, Suzanne, about everything, she just responded that Josh must have known that he was in trouble for what he did and ran away. She mentioned that it had been a few weeks since the last time she saw him, as he had essentially been living at his friend Evan's house. We asked her a number of other questions about Josh, including if she was aware of the strange device he had in his possession, but she seemed indifferent and irritated, like we were bothering her. She did not assist with the search efforts, but was not considered to be a suspect. We also spoke with Evelyn Gooden, the mother of Josh's friend Evan. She confirmed that Josh had been staying over almost every night around that time. She allowed us to take a look around where Josh had been sleeping, but all we found were some wires, hardware scraps, and a few tools. Mrs. Gooden claimed that she did not see Josh again after what happened and was very concerned.
Do you think Josh is still out there?
Yeah, I think Josh is out there somewhere for sure.
Have you seen or been in contact with him since his disappearance?
No. Nope, I definitely haven't seen or talked to him since he vanished.
Do you think he's okay?
Yeah, the guy is insanely resourceful. I think he's probably fine. But yeah, I have no idea where he's at.
If what you're saying is true, and Josh ran away willingly, why do you think he would do that?
Well, I think he didn't feel like dealing with whatever the punishment would be for what happened with Miss Hornsby. Like he knew the government would probably be involved. And I think he was just ready to be on his own.
After the altercation caught on camera between Joshua Reed and Helen Hornsby, which resulted in the instantaneous relocation of Helen, Josh was seen running out of the classroom and into a nearby restroom. He has not been seen since. The strange weapon he used to relocate Miss Hornsby was never found. Thanks for watching the Facade Files with Ace Hawkinson. Until next time, stay tuned, right here on Channel 93.